All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Live Button Podcast. We appreciate you guys being here. We have a really, really special episode for you today. We're going to be interviewing our good friend, BlueThunder. Super dope dude. Really, really great guy. Known him for a while, and he was gracious enough to say yes to come on the podcast. So Dad the Gamer and I are going to be interviewing him today. And per usual, I am joined by my host, Dad the Gamer. And Dad, what are some things you can say about BlueThunder right off the bat, man?
Very excited to have him on. If you guys don't know who BlueThunder is, one, you should. But I know BlueThunder. He's a very modest person. I've talked to him. We've talked to him quite a bit, and a very modest person. So I'm going to be the one to bolster him, even though he doesn't like it very much. But somebody's got to put some respect on his name. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, dude.
So BlueThunder started beginning of this year, literally started from nothing. All right. Just like everybody else said, hey, you know what? I'm going to start streaming on Twitch. Right. Made Twitch partner in 6 months. All right. 0 to nothing in 6 months, made Twitch partner. Not only that, what to me is more impressive is his follower count on TikTok. And today we're going to talk quite a bit on TikTok, but he has 250,000 followers. Once again, he started the year with nothing, and now he's at 250,000 followers. So I think this is going to be a great episode because it's really, Pastor and I talk a lot about the amount of work that we're putting in.
Sure.
But people probably look at some of the things that we're doing and they go look at our follower count. I guarantee you, I know people go and look at like, 3,000 followers, 1,600 followers, right? What they're talking about doesn't work. I'm glad to have Blue on because he's going to really talk about a lot of, what he's gone through to get to the level that he's at. And really, honestly, the amount of hard work and dedication that he's put into to hone his craft, right? He didn't know anything at the beginning of the year, to really hone his craft and be able to perfect his stream and his content creation to where it is now. So without further ado, Blue, welcome on, man.
Awesome. Pastor, Dad, thanks for having me, guys. It's
dude.
An absolute honor and pleasure to be on here. As soon as you all asked me, I knew right away I'm definitely doing that with those guys. So I respect you both immensely.
Thank you, man.
So
I appreciate that.
The feeling's mutual.
Thank you.
So I wanted to, the first kind of question that I was thinking of, so you started at the beginning of the year. One, I remember the very first TikTok that I seen of you. And it's not the TikTok that you're thinking of. It was a different TikTok. The one where we'll get into that. We'll get into that to the other one. But your name behind BlueThunder and kind of your journey to starting your content creation journey. What talk about that?
Yeah, I feel like that has there's some magic in the universe that maybe that's part of the reason for my success. Things we can't see or feel, But
definitely.
Yeah, the name BlueThunder means an immense amount to me. So one of my best friend, my father, he passed away in May of 2022, got into an accident at work. It was the worst phone call and day of my life. My sister called me and it was really bad. He was in Detroit and he was a professional boxer and his boxing name was BlueThunder. He was a really good professional boxer in the 80s. Record was 16-3-1.
Nice.
Wow.
And his boxing name was BlueThunder, man. So it was just it just came to me one day and it was just an obvious no-brainer.
Yeah.
So
no,
that's the meaning
awesome.
behind the name.
I like it. So here's the other thing. What was the thought process? Because at one point in your life, which was very recently, you weren't creating content, you weren't streaming, you weren't doing anything. What was the thought that was like, maybe I'll try this? Like, how did you get there? What were the things that led up to that? Can you explain a little bit about kind of what that thought process was?
Sure. So I had like a lot of this game room already built. Some of the LEDs and stuff, branding and stuff, obviously I didn't. But I had this rack. I had the lights already. I had the multiple monitors and the TV and the gaming PC. And my room looked like a streaming room before like I had any plans to stream. I just wanted to build like a badass game room. I always wanted to. So, I saved up money and over the course of like 5 years, I put this thing together and I was really proud of it. I'd post pictures of it on Reddit, on like reddit.com or Reddit/r battle stations. And I get thousands of upvotes and I was really proud of it. Nice. And then I had somebody I work with who just said that he streamed on Twitch and he's like, why don't you stream on Twitch? You got a really cool gaming setup. I was like, no, dude, I don't know. No, I'm not doing it.
You said, okay, watch this, bro. Watch this.
And he's like, dude, I make like $60 a month doing it. It's like a little extra money and I'm already playing video games. And I was like, $60 a month. That sounds pretty nice.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. So I did it and I streamed to no viewers for like a week or something. And then I guess I ended up on TikTok and I just saw that streamers were promoting themselves on TikTok. So I said, okay, if I don't want to sit at 0 viewers, I should probably do what other people are doing. And so I started doing that, and I had a viral TikTok pop off, sympathy TikTok that I've talked
yeah,
about.
There
yeah.
you
And
go. There you go.
I went from like 0 to 400 followers on Twitch in like a couple days. And I just remember like the alerts were just, even when I was off stream, the alerts were just popping off on
Yeah.
OBS.
Yep.
And then that like first that rush of like success, that rush of the follower count increase, like I was just instantly hooked.
It's addicting. It is like
Dude,
highly
that
addicting,
dopamine
especially
is nutty.
Yeah.
you know, getting it offline, right? Like it's one thing to get followers when you're streaming, you know, but when you're not streaming and to see like, you know, you talk about the alerts and the follower stuff, it becomes addicting because that means, you know, people seeing your content and it was enough for them to like your content, enough to hit the follow button, or, you know, really hit the link, go to your page, hit the follow button, say I like this person, I want to check out the next stream. So definitely
It's
it's very addicting.
it's very addicting, but it is so similar to like a drug in the way
Oh,
that
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, for
absolutely.
sure.
you know, 1 or 2 hits used to get me high. You know, 50,000 views used to get me going. But now if I don't get at least 100,000 views, I'm depressed.
Bro, what is that like, dude? I just had 100,000 views on a TikTok for the first time in a while,
Oh,
and
that
in the
ended up
next
getting
3
100K?
videos yeah, so it got 104K, and I posted it was, like, 2 days ago. The next 3 videos I post, 200 views, bro. What the heck is going on? I know people are seeing my stuff, like, TikTok, what are you doing? Because, like, I'm with you, dude. I can sit there and, like, I've had a few videos go viral, and dude, when those followers are coming in and when that alert is blowing up your phone and you're like, "Oh, shoot, this is it, this is it." You
It's
almost
an
get, like,
incredible
hyped up.
feeling. Yeah.
Dude, you're
Yeah.
like "What I did matters." Like, people like it, like, whatever, all this
Yeah.
stuff, and then it stops, and you're like and I've talked about this before, which I've kind of dubbed it as, like, the viral video hangover, because
Yeah.
after all that kind of stuff goes away and you're not getting the followers anymore and you're not getting all the alerts and stuff, it's like, dude, what the heck is wrong? Like, why
Yeah.
Yeah.
why is this happening? And that's been something that I swore wouldn't happening in this time, but when I saw the numbers kept rising and the followers kept coming in and stuff, I was like, oh, this is good. And then next 3 videos was like 200 views, and I was like, okay, either it's not good
Yeah.
or but yeah, so like that hangover, that viral TikTok hangover is just like it's a wicked thing. But it's
Yeah.
really interesting that you said that, because we think that like the more views we get, the better things will be. But eventually the views that really satisfied you now are considered a bad video sometimes. Like, what has that been like for you? And how does that translate into what your level of success is now compared to like what you thought you were gonna be at when you first started?
I mean, when those things happen, I just said I analyze the video and I say, well, why didn't this one go viral? And there's so many reasons for it, man. There's so many reasons for it. So when those things happen, I analyze the video pretty deeply, and
Mhm.
I look at every little aspect of it. How's the pacing? What is my hook? Is this going to encourage comments? Am I going to say something that's going to make people angry so then they comment, or am I going to say something that's going to make people think so they comment? Like
Sure.
engagement is like 90% of it.
Sure.
um Pacing is so important. I try to not have a single second of like empty space or
Yep.
empty air. Like
Mhm.
I just submitted a video to a group I'm working with, and they came back and they said, hey, you need to this there was too much space between these 2 words, and I had to go back in my edit and just squish them together, so it was, instead of like 10 milliseconds, it was
Yeah.
like 1 millisecond.
Dude,
Yep.
that's for anyone listening, that is how I edit my videos too, right? Like one obvious Blue is a phenomenal editor, but like that I edit my videos based off the audio waves in Adobe Premiere, right? You can
Sure,
tell
same.
when you have dead space, when nothing's happening, and
Yep.
that's an easy way for you to go in and cut and edit your videos, is by just looking at the dead space in terms of audio and saying, all right, obviously there's nothing happening there, right? So I need
Yep.
to edit that out. So that's a great tip right there.
Dude, you
Yeah.
shouldn't be breathing in your TikTok videos. And what I mean by that is every single time you record a video, you put it in DaVinci Resolve, you can see those sound waves. You can see when you do this, and you can see it's an empty space. You can see cut it out. cut it
Yeah.
out, smash it together. So it's constant. If you look closely at really good TikTokers, all of their videos, they never breathe.
Yeah.
Not one time. It's just a constant flow of
You just got
talking.
to hold your breath for 3 minutes. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you have to keep people engaged. You have to keep things moving. Like for me, every 3 seconds, typically something is happening in the video, whether it's
Yep.
B-roll, whether it's a camera shot move, whether it's a different room, like whatever it is, it has to go. Also, Blue, you mentioned something earlier on in the episode, which was you had this really awesome game room designed and like finished already and stuff. Like, can you explain to me a little bit what that's like? Because I would love to know, dude. But
As he's
right
talking
now,
from like a house from construction. For those not on YouTube and yours audio, he's got his new house and it's just literally like
oh,
2x4s behind.
two by
I
fours
love how he's
wiring
still
and
got the Govee lights on though.
bro,
Yeah,
I got look at
just
them, dude.
spraying.
Look at them. Just right up there on the wall. It's what's really bad is if I put them both on, they reflect everywhere and my camera gets all jacked up, so I can only do one.
That's so funny.
Yeah, dude. So that's, eventually I'll get there, right? Eventually I'll get there and it'll work out. And, I have the vision and like I see yours and your room is just immaculate. It's done. You got the fog machines, you got this, you got that, all this kind of stuff. I'll get there eventually. Maybe not the fog machine, but
Yeah,
we'll see what we
I
can
always
do.
tell people, I like to think my stream is unique and interactive, but I always tell people, I'm like, if you really want to see like an interactive stream in terms of like interacting with the streamer in real time in their space, like Blue is a perfect example because as you know, he gets followers, right? He's got this awesome little button, which for those who have been in my stream, I got like the shake effect where I'm artillery person in the military, so I do like this boom. I took it from Blue and I messaged him when I took it, but he inspired it for that. But he's got this fog machine where it's real fog in real time to be able to do that. So being able to interact in real time in your space as a streamer for your viewers is a pretty cool, unique experience that I don't think a lot of streams have.
And
I
my
wanted to,
overlays were designed with this fog machine in mind. Because if you look at my
Oh,
overlays,
yeah.
like the clouds,
yeah,
you can't really tell what's an overlay and what's the fog machine at certain points.
That is
that's
super
actually pretty
dope.
cool.
Yeah, that is super
Yeah.
dope, dude. I did raid Blue one time. And speaking of like interactive streams and like all this kind of stuff, I raided Blue and afterwards in my Discord, everyone was like, "Hey, his stream was really cool. What are you doing?" I was like, "Okay, look, all right, I'm doing the best I can with what I got right now, bro. Like, leave me alone."
You just
The
straight up
whole-
lost a viewer, bro.
dude,
They
the whole
just
sanctuary
left the
we'll see
Discord
you over
server.
there.
Hey,
Peace
and
out, dude.
you rated me again, so apparently
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah, dude, it was good.
So obviously, I think most people start streaming with maybe with an idea that they're gonna make it one day, and obviously there's a different definition in terms of like making it in the streaming world, but most people kind of start and maybe it's a hobby, and there's a fine line, or not a fine line. There's a big line between streaming and considering yourself a content creator. At what point did you really start looking at kind of your journey and saying, yo, like this is something I really want to do, and this is something that I think I could be good at? At what point were you kind of thinking about that?
That point's pretty clear to me. It was when when I actually felt like a content creator is when I started editing on Adobe Premiere.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel that. I feel that. I look at I tell people all the time, I don't care what software that you use. For me, I'm a big Adobe Premiere guy as well, but you have to really master your software. But at the same time, editing on your phone, it has such limitations. And if you really look
Sure.
at, the larger content creators that are having a lot of success in terms of overall, right? When I say overall, I mean on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and then obviously transitioning over, all those viewers into your stream. They're using professional editing software. They're not using Clip Talk or clip whatever
CapCut.
CapCut. They're not using CapCut. All right, they're not using all these like phone software. They're using professional editing software. And I've said this so many times. Yes, the learning curve is steep. I'm not going to sit there and say it's a very easy software to learn.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I promise you, I'm evidence of it. All right, I didn't know anything about Adobe Premiere a year ago, and I'm
Yeah.
far from being an expert, but I'm to the point now where I've said this before. I could chop up a video very, very quickly,
Yep.
but that's because I went on YouTube. I literally just went on YouTube, and there's so many people on social media that just have tutorials and sitting there saying like giving you all the information you need to be successful on Adobe Premiere. So you can only go so far with those phone apps. You really have to start transitioning over to, if you want to really, have good quality content, you have to transition over to utilizing, I mean, at a minimum, a DaVinci Resolve. Like, Pastor
Mhm.
uses DaVinci Resolve. Obviously, Blue and I use Adobe Premiere. You have to transition over to utilizing one of those.
I
Yeah, and I
really
mean, DaVinci's equivalent to Adobe. It's just different.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I really think that, the and I don't wanna say, like, the mark of a content creator is knowing how to video edit, but, like, when you decide that you want to do videos and you make that decision and realize the journey it takes to then get to where the videos you have and can put out are really, really decent and can compete with some of the other stuff that's out there, I think that all stems back to learning how to video edit. Like, once you decide, "I'm gonna learn how to do this," that's when you can really, in my opinion, become a content creator because you can then go past just the phone or just the stream. Like, you can make an entire video, you go into cinematography, you go into a ton of different stuff, transitions, cutting, editing, all this stuff. And then it allows you to be the most creative, in my opinion, the most creative type of content creator, which is somebody who can take something and create something completely different on the other end. And that train that you have to ride for that is video editing, in my opinion.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. No, 100%. And all those, like, just to circle back, like CapCut, Canva, TikTok native editing,
Mhm.
that is so like unintentionally, but it's designed so perfectly that it's a perfect step by step to work
yeah,
your way up to Adobe Premiere.
For sure.
Because I only did TikTok native, and then I moved into Canva, and then I moved into CapCut, which is a little more advanced than Canva, and it
Mhm.
made the transition perfect. So, like, definitely start with those apps. Don't
Yeah.
skip everything and go straight to Adobe Premiere. And then what I'll say is I hired an editor at a point. I was at a point where I said, I can never learn this stuff. Like, I'm just, it doesn't
yeah.
work with my brain. I can't do it. I truly cannot do it.
Sure.
And then, I'm very confident in what I can do on those now. So it just takes time in YouTube, man. And, yeah.
YouTube
And
University is real.
Dude, I
yep,
think you hit something right on the head there too, which is like, if you can and you get to a point where you can't do something, guess what? There's always somebody on the internet who can. There's always somebody that's going to
yeah,
fill the shoes that you need them to fill for your needs. Like me, for
yeah,
example, I would love to sit down and understand how to use Affinity Photo and Photoshop and make wonderful, beautiful, amazing, awesome thumbnails. Bro, that's just not me. That's not what I want to concentrate my
it's
stuff
not you
on.
yet.
Yeah, it's not me yet. That's right. Like, I want to be clear about this. I'm still working on how to make thumbnails on the back end, right? Like, that's
Cool.
still something that I'm doing. But for the time right now, and I don't show any signs of stopping because I love what's happening. The thumbnails that I'm getting made for me are phenomenal. They're top tier. And it's like, if you can get somebody to do the work that you don't know how to do yet,
Yep.
and then slowly walk your way into those shoes, bro, you'll be fine. You'll be totally fine. So Blue, what I want to ask you something about the TikTok game that you've been running so far, which is there came a point where you started streaming on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you had great growth. You were moving forward. You were getting some really really big numbers. You were kind of blowing up, and then it was like the second that you started streaming on TikTok, because I think that you got in on the earlier side of that, if I'm not mistaken, and you perfected it. You perfected the text, not the text, but the video before you went live. People could
Yeah,
interact
the
with it.
viral
Like,
video. Yep.
yeah, the viral
I had
video.
7 million views on one of those.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's insane.
perfected the viral video to then boost your streaming on TikTok. What was the process of that in terms of how did that spike your growth so fast? Because I've seen other people stream on TikTok and they're not where you're at. Like,
Yeah.
what
Sure.
was the story behind that?
So trying to think back. I mean, I saw it as an opportunity. I had a friend named Dietrich who had um, grown insanely from those viral intro videos and then the going lives.
Yeah, I follow
Mhm.
Dietrich too.
Yeah, he got like I want to say he got 100,000 viewer followers in like I don't know a week, and I was like, I have
Crazy.
to do this, man. And like I reached out to him. He told me a little bit about what he was doing, and then I had at least had a direction to go in. I did a bunch of my own research and found a couple tools that I could use. And then I just put my own spin on it and was like, I'm gonna put a billion tools and make the priority of this TikTok live not the gameplay, not me even, but just the interactive triggers that you can get from typing into the TikTok chat.
Sure.
That was almost filled the whole screen. Like you could barely see the game.
Yeah.
So I said, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to focus all the TikTok lives about that. And that's what I did. And I think I hit at the perfect time when it was brand new and people were
Yeah.
going crazy over it. And
Mhm.
now it is not the wave anymore.
No,
Yeah,
it's not at all.
you see it all over the place now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's old news, I guess you could say.
Well, the
Yeah.
funny thing is too is now that you see it all over the place, you immediately swipe. It's not one
That's
of those things
Yeah.
where like, "Oh shoot, what is this?" It's, "Oh my god, it's another one of these." And then you swipe and it's like and that's it. So I think you're
Yeah.
100% right. The wave is now gone, but it's very important also to like when growing on TikTok to recognize when the wave is coming and when the appropriate time is to jump on it. And that can go from anything from streaming on TikTok to viral sounds, viral trends, like whatever it may be, and relating it to your niche or whatever. But if you can't recognize the appropriate times to do that kind of stuff on TikTok, it's gonna be extraordinarily hard to grow on TikTok, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think the big thing to take away here is you have to be innovative. You know,
Oh yeah.
so many people react to trends versus I mean, it's a cliche and I understand, you know, saying this is probably, you know, not a lot of people are probably going to listen to this and be like, I don't know if I could do that, but like make the trend. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure there
Mhm,
was probably other people before Blue. Obviously, Blue said it. There were other people before Blue that did it, but
Mhm.
obviously he perfected it, right? Like, I know exactly the you know the video where he's talking about millions of views because I've been in his TikTok lives, and I go in there. And this is probably bad, but I go in there as like a streamer, you know what I'm saying? I go in there as a content creator and I'm just like analyzing everything that he's got going on because I'm like, how did he do this and what did he do to do this, right? And but once again, it's just being innovative and trying to figure out how to make yourself stand out. You know, we've said it so many times. There's over 9.2 million streamers. Most of them are on TikTok. Most of them are out there advertising their stuff on TikTok. How do you make yourself stand out from everybody else?
Yeah.
That should be your goal. That should be your mission. And most people miss that, and most people, you know, they just go with whatever the trend is. And I'm gonna use Blue's infamous video, the feeling sorry for yourself video. So many people do those because they see the views and the growth that people have gotten from that. And it once, I mean, everybody's talked about it. Blue's talked about it. Like it didn't really do anything other than empty follows and sympathy. Like, oh yeah, I'll follow you. You know, like nobody's gonna be there, right?
mhm.
But outside of that, I mean, it's coming up with
I
your
think
own
people will
unique
stick
stuff.
around if you knock their socks off when they show up.
Correct. Yeah. If you knock
Because
yourself
That's
off,
the
I have
difference.
some people who came from that and are still
sure.
there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's. I mean, just like a. I mean, I guess you can
Just like
look at it like a
anything.
raid, like a raid coming through. You're trying to sell people on your stream. You got probably the first 2 minutes to sell somebody on your stream on why they should follow you, why they should come back, why you should join your community. After that,
Yeah.
you probably lost them, right? So same kind of concept. If you're, I hate to say it, but if you're a terrible streamer, guess what? You're probably not going to get a lot of people coming back to your stream. They're going to be like, ah, this person's kind of a terrible.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But Blue, there's also a darker side to growing as fast as you did as well. And I was one of the first people to not one of the first people to realize it, but like I was watching it. I was watching everything happen to you, and you caught a lot of crap on TikTok
Oh
for
my
how
God, a
fast you were
lot.
growing, the way you were doing it, how
Mhm.
you were doing it. There was I'll be honest with you, I have not seen anyone be as hated as you were when everything was first starting and
You
first rolling.
you think? I
Oh,
Dude,
that
didn't
was
think it was
wild,
that
dude.
bad.
dude, I
For a few weeks there, it was like, man, he was catching because there would be. I'm not going to name the streamers, but there would be streamers out there saying, talking about. I mean, if they didn't directly stitch your video or duet your video, but outside of that, they were very vague about who they were talking about. But I mean, at that point in
Sure.
time, I mean, this was summertime, earlier summertime. It was very clear on who they were talking about. You know, it was like
mhm.
Sure.
I know exactly who you're talking about. You don't have to, you don't have to sit there and hide it because this is nonsense.
Yep.
So the question then being, and I don't say this to be like, guess what? If you didn't know it, you know it now. Like it's one of those things where I want to know genuinely because if you go the right direction for long enough, you're going to find people that absolutely despise who you are, what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, and they're going to try to get in your way and knock you
Yeah.
down a few pegs. What did you do with the hate that you received? How did you handle that?
Sure.
Or did you do anything with it?
Sure. So I didn't handle it I didn't respond appropriately because
That's
I was
fair.
brand new to it.
Sure.
You know, I was brand new to it, and I don't accept getting bullied in real life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, I've always stood up for myself for better or for worse, in real life. So I wasn't going to sit there and take that either. But
Sure.
the main difference here is this isn't real life, and these people don't exist.
How crazy is that? Like
They
that
they
that
they
idea
don't
is
exist. They're
yeah.
just, you know, they're videos on the phone. I'm never going to meet these people. So first thing I did was I reacted and I clapped back a little bit individually on the post. I went and found a few people, one of which was Logan, and Logan knows this. We've already hashed it out. We're all good. But one was Logan, and I clapped back at Logan. I clapped back at a few other people in the comments, which just fueled the fire, of course, you know.
Yeah, of course,
Sure.
of course.
So
Sure.
that made people even more mad. So in the end, my takeaway from it was I analyzed a couple of things. One, most of the hate was coming from an individual who streamed for 8 years and didn't reach anywhere near the numbers that I did in less than 6 months. So you can look at that like that and see, well, why was that coming
Sure.
to me
Yep.
for that reason? Um, and you know, if this individual sees it, I'm not too worried about it. Secondly, you know, I also understood where the hate, why it was coming my way, and how that the you know, rating small streamers has been abused in the past,
Yeah.
Sure.
and that made total sense. I had no context of that. I didn't understand that. I'm brand new
Sure.
at this stuff. I've been in it, you know, 4 months at the time. I didn't know that was a, you know, something that's been abused in the past.
Yeah.
So I noticed that, and I kept at it for a little while, and then I just pivoted away from it.
You just
Yeah,
let it go.
yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah.
I noticed that it kind of pivoted away from that. I mean, I'm not at the level obviously Blue, but when I started like my whole like blunt truth, I was getting some hate, like, and it was frustrating to go into other people's comment section and seeing them talk about me. They would reference a video or a point that I would made in their comment section. I was just like, I remember that point in time feeling pretty low about myself because I was like, man, I feel like I'm putting out good content, right? But at the end of the day, like, you can't get everybody to love you. You know what I'm saying? You can't get everyone to
Yeah.
like your content. You know, you have to be as genuine. You have to be yourself as much as possible. Obviously, trying to appeal as many people as possible. But you know, if you really come across not genuine and you're not yourself, people can see right through you. And I'd rather take on my haters all day, every day, because it's built my community to what it is now, and it's made my stream what it is now. You know, so I'm with
Bro.
it.
But
Or put a TikTok of me out and have the internet hate me for a few
Oh
days
my
instead, bro.
God! Listen, Pastor got so much. I can't wait for episode where we read all the mean comments that we've gotten on our
Bro, oh,
TikTok
I got
because it's unbelievable.
annihilated. I got annihilated by some
let me
people.
say something to both of you about that.
Yeah.
I'm sure in that moment, and just like in my moment, I guess mine was more visible since Pastor said I was like the most hated man on TikTok for like a month, which is literally news to me. Like I didn't know it was that bad, but
That's fair. That's
that's
fair.
so funny. But in your moments, like Dad, you're feeling down, Pastor, you were feeling down about getting attacked and stuff. Like it feels like that to you, but like I had no idea either of you were hated or getting attacked at any point in time.
It's
Even
crazy.
Yeah,
Pastor, your recent thing, I didn't know that was a thing until I saw your tweet about it.
Well, Blue, it's because you have to look down to see me down here, dude, like all the way at the bottom. Like that's why, dude. Like it's not a big deal. Like I was like, Blue, come save me. I need you. And you were like, it's cool, dude. Like
Ah.
whatever.
no,
No,
it's
like
it's yeah, it's. I mean, I guess, you know, I think one, Pastor and I are obviously, you know, very close. We talk to each other every day, and so it's
sure.
easy for us to see that. But you know,
But
it's off.
you guys may not realize it, but I watch your content every single day too,
Yeah, yeah.
and it still didn't seem that way to me.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
I don't know.
That's so
It's
funny.
it's like half and half. If you go, so he had one that his popped off like a lot. Like I think I got like 20,000 views. You know,
Oh,
for
it was
our
because I upset all the 3 streamer Andys. Like I
yeah,
upset
yeah,
I made them really
Yeah.
mad because I was like, don't put $1,000,000,000 into your setup if
at
you're not
3
going to stream to
viewers.
anybody. And they were like, don't tell me how to be responsible with my money. And I
Yeah,
was like,
don't
okay.
tell me to spend my money. And then I think I said something along the lines of like, if you're not in it, not if you're in the money, if you're affiliated and you're telling your followers and your supporters that you don't care about the money, go be non-affiliated, because you're lying to your
Oh yeah,
followers
yeah, yeah.
and your supporters. And people in that we got stitched and everything. It's been a while,
Oh
but I
god.
mean, it's tough, you know, because like as you grow, you look at the biggest content creators out there. Everybody has haters. Dr. Disrespect has haters, as big
Yep.
as he is. Tim
Yep.
the Tap Man, right? Everybody has haters. It's just it literally comes natural with just growth. Some people are going to absolutely love you, and on the opposite end, you are going to have the people that just despise you and think that you are the worst content creator ever. And unfortunately, like Blue said, you get people, other streamers who hate on you. I really think that people don't like if you've been doing something, for example, for many, many years, and you've had this slow growth, and all of a sudden you have these people come on and they're utilizing, their talents and a
Yeah.
platform like
Yeah.
TikTok to grow their Twitch and have success. They don't like it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hold on a second. I've
And I
been on
don't
it.
blame them.
Yeah, I don't blame them either. You know what I'm saying? Listen. I've told Blue this. I had my one of my first conversations with Blue. I was very honest with them. I seen his his feel sorry for himself video that popped off, and this was right around the time when I was putting in a lot of effort. I was
Mm,
staying up late. I was learning editing. Right. I was really perfecting my craft, and I seen that, and I was like, yo, come on, man. Like, really, this video? So
yep.
I was one of those people who were like, man, this is frustrating, like, why can't I get a video pop off like that? So I was honest with Blue, and I've come to grow. Our last conversation with Blue, we are organizing this podcast episode, and we PS for a few minutes, and Pastor talked about hard work and all the. It was like 9 o'clock at night. We're doing a podcast episode. We talked about hard work, and Blue mentioned, he was like, look at my last video. I was so exhausted, so tired, because it was in the middle of the night when I uploaded. I got done with it, and it's just the hard work and the dedication that honestly you don't see behind the scenes. I think a lot of people, it's easy to look at Blue and say, oh, okay, 6 months. I think so many people are going to look at Blue and say, I could do it. I could do it too, right? 100% I could do
Mhm.
it. I'm the next BlueThunder Gaming. To those people out there, what kind of message do you have? What do they don't what are they not seeing behind the scenes?
Let me tell you what yesterday looked like. I'm not boasting, it's just the reality of it. I woke
Yeah.
up at 7:30, I was at work at 8:30, I worked till 4 o'clock. I left work at 4 o'clock. I was home and I was live on a stream for a 5-hour charity stream where I didn't make any money from 5 to 10 p.m. 10 p.m. rolls around. I have a video due to the organization that you all know I'm working with. I went to bed at 4 a.m. I edited for 6 hours on 3 different videos. I went to bed at 4 a.m. and I was up at 7:45 for work today. And here I am talking to you guys at
Yeah.
6:30 p.m.
Dude, we don't sleep either. It's
That
cool.
that
We
that
get it.
No, I know,
100%,
and I'm
man.
not
Like,
saying I'm
Yeah.
unlike
yeah.
you
It's just
guys.
it's crazy.
I
It's
told you
crazy,
all
dude.
a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago. Us three are the hardest working
I
people on the platform.
people, I feel like people don't see, they don't really understand, and I'm not trying to make a dig at other content creators or streamers, but if they look at people who are having success and they really don't understand the amount of hard work, if you have not taken this full time yet, right, which most people have not, right,
Yeah.
they're working a regular job, they got family, they got kids. If you haven't taken this full time yet, what are you sacrificing? It's going to be sleep every time. All right.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat. Not on that level. I usually get about four
That's
hours of sleep
very
a night.
unusual. No, that's never happens.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm not getting 3 hours of sleep. That was a weird day, but anyways.
Yeah, but the amount of hard work day in and day out that a somebody you look at that's having success that you're not seeing. What I'm saying? It's honestly, all the hard work is when the camera's off and the lights are off, and you sitting there and you have Adobe Premiere open, and you're like, all right, this is it. This is where I'm going to be at for the next 4 to 6 hours editing content. It
Mhm.
sucks. It is so much work.
Yeah.
And it could be a grind, and I don't think a lot of people really understand or kind of get that. It's another full-time job.
Yeah.
That's
It
bottom line
is.
what it is. You're working
It
40
is.
hours a week, and then you have a 40 really to 60-hour week job doing this.
But dad,
Yep.
you gotta remember, dude, you just gotta keep grinding, bro.
Oh my
Just
God, I
keep
hate that. I hate that shit so much.
but don't like, and that's the thing, and we've talked
I
about
mean,
this in the
it's
podcast before, is this whole idea of like, if you want to do this, that's all you do. Like that's all you do. I don't understand how you would do this and other stuff. Like first off, and by other stuff I mean like I know people work, I know people have a jobs, but you can't be doing this and also seeing your friends and going out every single weekend
It
and going
sucks.
like you cannot do that if you want this bad enough. Now, if you want this to be a hobby, do what you got to do. Like
Yeah.
I'm still in that boat where I'm trying to figure out what's what. Like, is this a hobby? Is this not a hobby? Like, because I'm spending days and days and days making content, recording content, like getting everything, edited and situated and whatever. And I don't think you can do anything else if you want to be a content creator until the job is done and you've made it, then just make content. I'm pretty
Yeah.
positive that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Or
100%.
at least until you can hire people, a team around you to take all that load off, right? Once you get to that level to where you say, hey, you know what, I'm done streaming. Here's my content. Whatever, edit it, upload it. I'm done for the day. Which for most people that's pretty far away, right?
Mhm.
It's a distant dream for that, and maybe one day. Um, Now, Blue, I know pretty recent. I would say pretty recently, but this is beginning of December timeframe. I know you've kind of put your neck out in terms of long form content now. You've been grinding a lot towards that. And I don't want to say perfecting, but I've watched your YouTube videos. You get a lot of views for your sub count. I think I didn't look, recently, but I know you were at 900 and something subs. You're closing in on 1,000. So for those listening, if you're not following BlueThunder on YouTube, make sure you guys go drop my man a follow. But same thing on TikTok. It seems like that you just have that knack to be successful. I mean, honestly, just like creating content. But what differences can you tell, or what differences can you talk about in terms of TikTok content versus YouTube content?
I mean, TikTok content, the algorithm with TikTok is just brilliant, so it's way easier to get views on TikTok.
It
I don't
is.
think
Mhm.
it's like a bad algorithm or it's a cheap algorithm. I think it's just such an incredibly perfected algorithm. Which may be a bad thing when robots take over the entire world. But I think TikTok's algorithm is genius, man. It's so good. So
It really is.
yeah, the algorithm's just different. And you're dealing with bite-sized little short form videos that people only need to watch for 30 seconds as opposed to long form. Um, I will say with long form content and really TikTok content too, but more so long form, timing is way more important. So
Yeah.
what I say is like when you're posting that video, like Pastor, when your last two Elden Ring videos,
Yep.
those went out what, last week and the week before?
Last week and the week before, I had this so to give context to this question, I have just started a second channel because the algorithm was getting really confused whether my primary channel was a gaming channel or a tech channel or a streaming channel, like what it was. So I'm moving all my content over to the new Elden Ring channel. So I don't have the algorithm sense yet to figure out what's the best time for me to post. I just posted the video, but it was around kind of 10:30 a.m. in the morning. And that has the advantage of kind of being right around the time people are starting to either get off for lunch for work and they're checking YouTube, or later on in the day where they're kind of get off work and they get home. And, so mine's always kind of been in the middle of the day. The best times for me have always been from like 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Like right in that window of time for me has always been really, really good. But with TikTok, it's yes, your analytics can tell you the best times to post, but if you have a good video, you can
Dude,
post it all the night and it'll go
it's
well.
incredible. Like you could post it at 11 o'clock at night and you'll wake up with 100,000 views. Like it's such a crazy algorithm.
Mhm.
It's definitely different in terms of your you could post. YouTube tends to push out content, especially on shorts. It tends to post out or push out content immediately. Within the first like 10 minutes, it goes out there and it's on its way. And
Yeah.
TikTok, it's very strange because Pastor and I talked about I have a viral video. I think it's like 90,000 views right now, and it just kind of tends to circle back around. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Yeah.
algorithm. It's like, oh hey, hold on, we'll throw it back in the algorithm 2 weeks later, and next thing you know, I don't know, I get another, like maybe 1,000 views on it. It's a very, very weird. Nobody obviously can figure out TikTok's algorithm, but it's very, very strange.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely. And all those points are valid, but when I say timing, I mean like relevancy almost. So
Oh,
Your
yeah, yeah,
Elden
yeah.
Ring videos popped off. Well, Game Awards were last week, or yes, last night.
Timed
People
that.
knew Game Awards were coming up. People knew that there was probably going to be some sort of Elden Ring reveal, which the trailer dropped, or that people knew it was up for Game of the Year. So people are checking out more Elden Ring stuff at that time.
Yeah, and I intentionally, because I told Dad about this a while back, is I started making content in a niche that had kind of died off. So Elden Ring had been out for the full year. Like people were kind of sort of petering off from it, whatever. And I was like, I'm gonna make content for this now because I know the DLC is coming. Like I know it's
Yeah,
gonna happen soon. So by the time it pops off, I need my content to be ready and like
yeah,
good to go. So literally, and Blue, you helped me out a ton with this. Was I put my first video out with the awesome thumbnail, great title, and everything. It got a ton of views right away on YouTube for long form content, and then I didn't even know that it had dropped. And Blue, you sent me the trailer for the new DLC coming out for the PvP content, and literally within 15 minutes of you sending me the trailer, I made content on it, put it out,
yeah,
and it was out on my YouTube channel. Now it's still stacking up views. I think I put it out a day ago. It's got like 200 views on a long form content video for a brand new channel is mega good.
yeah,
So I think you're right. It's harks back to when we talked earlier about riding the wave of TikTok. There's going to be certain things on YouTube that you are going to see within your niche. You have to be very timely in when you put out content, and you have to have a plan for when it happens because it's gonna leave. Things are going to change. Like the DLC for Elden Ring, in my case, is going to come out and then it's gonna be old DLC and it won't be relevant anymore. So my
yeah.
goal then needs to be make as much content on that DLC the second it comes out so that I can get ahead of the game and start looking for the next thing coming out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like, you all remember that game Marauders or no?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
saw
yeah,
your
yeah.
TikToks on it.
Marauders came out, and I posted 5 long form videos on that. Before this, I never had a long form get over 200 views, and I have one that has 6,000 views, 5,000, two
Nice.
thousand, and it's because Marauders had just dropped, and that's all people were talking about.
Yep.
So you need to just be aware of what's going on and take advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, things like patch notes or something like that. I mean,
Yep.
I'm a big Warzone creator. Like that's like the only thing that I really do. But
Same.
I don't dabble too much into long form right now, honestly, because I just don't have the time. Like between the
Yeah.
podcast and trying to put out enough content and work, I just don't have the time. But yeah, I think Blue makes a good point. I mean, you kind of look at what's coming on the calendar, and if you're a gaming channel, which most people that's their content is gaming channel, or that's the goal. You really look at that. I want to kind of talk about um what's kind of lost. You look at TikTok and really Twitch talk in general. You see a lot of people hopping on the Twitch advice, right? And I've said
Dude,
this
who
so
does
many
that, bro?
times.
I don't
you s-
I don't think I know anybody who does that. That's so weird. That's
you
so
see it
crazy.
you see it so often, and I've said this so many times. People ask about content, and or they talk about maybe going into Twitch advice and helping people, but people forget that there are more viewers on Twitch, really on any platform, than anything else. And all you need, and I don't say all because it is hard, but what you need to focus on is creating content for viewers. That
Yep.
is what is going to get you sustained viewership. That is what's going to get you people that are going to watch your content, wait for your content. But so many people see the success that other streamers have had, with Twitch advice and Twitch tips, whatever you want to call it. So they jump on the bandwagon, and all you're doing is you're leaving out all the viewers, right? And I try to focus. If you really look at my TikTok over the last 6 months, how it's kind of evolved. I was heavily into, my Blunt Truth took off, so I was heavily into that, but now it's kind of weeded off. And I probably post once a week about the Blunt Truth, but one, I'm running out of content for that, but two, I don't want to consider myself in the Twitch tip space. I'm trying to transition to viewers, right? Because that is what is going to get you really sustained viewership, is people saying,
Yep.
yo, I really like this person's content. I want to be in their streams, I want to be on their YouTube, I want to be on their TikTok, I want to be in their Discord. Like, they don't want anything from you. All they want to do is enjoy your content. And people forget about that. People forget that you need to capture viewers. And, like, listen, I get it, it's hard. I
Yep.
understand it's hard, but there are more viewers than streamers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. 100%. It somehow it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't
Yeah.
feel like it.
You're right, it doesn't. But that's because, listen, I was a viewer a long time ago, right? Obviously, I wasn't a streamer for a long time, but like I was into League of Legends, probably like, I don't know, like 5-6 years ago, like heavily, right?
Yeah.
Enjoyed the game, I enjoyed watching the game, so I found a couple creators on YouTube, and Twitch. I follow, a couple on Twitch. I never subscribed to them. I never chatted or anything like that, right? But when they went live, I watched their live streams. And then their YouTube channels, I was all over their YouTube channels. I was a viewer. Now, with that said,
And
I
you
was
never
never
engaged with them?
no, I never said anything in chat. I kind of just, popped in
Rocking
and
that lurker card, dude.
oh,
Look
it
at
was
you.
100% lurker
And you
card,
you
man.
still felt like connected to them though?
I mean, enough. Like it wasn't. I mean, I was still in the army. At the time, so I was still very busy doing that. But I remember being deployed, and I would go to the Wi-Fi and download, videos to watch of theirs. So I was literally deployed, and then I would just download videos to my phone, and then, in between shift or whatever, I'm watching videos of their content, right? So
That's
you know
cool.
you have to be able to capture viewers, and I use my, me being a viewer as an example, because I was never actively out there looking to follow other creators, right? It wasn't, oh, I followed this one streamer and I was like, oh my god, I want to go find more streamers. No, I just happened to, stumble upon through really YouTube, these creators, and then it brought me over to their Twitch, right? But really is through YouTube, finding. I mean, obviously this was well before TikTok. Finding their content, and then that's what brought me over to TikTok. But streamers, I mean, how many people are you guys following, right? Hundreds, if not thousands of people that you're following. Me
Yeah.
as a viewer, I followed maybe five. Maybe I
Sure.
followed five people.
It's a different
And
perspective.
it is a
Yeah.
different perspective, and those are, once again, I get it. It's hard. Just like Blue just said, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of viewers out there, but I promise you there are, and those are the ones that you want to capture, because they're going to hold on. I still follow them to this day, right? I'm not active in their community or anything like that, but I still follow those same ones to this day, because I enjoy their content. But you have to be able to capture those viewers, and once you do, you're good to go, and that person's going to follow you until the end of time.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you what's next. Where you go in type situation. Not that you're like leaving or anything, but like what's next for Blue Thunder?
I
In
would I
terms
would
of
I would caveat with that and say, for somebody that hit Twitch partner, in terms of what's next, when you hit Twitch partner, did you feel that letdown after hitting Twitch partner that everyone talks about? And then if you did, what are you kind of doing to get yourself out of it?
I'm floating around into just trying to kind of figure out what direction I want to go in order to ensure I can still grow on Twitch.
that makes sense.
I've kind of been burnt out on a lot of the small streamer tips. I don't really have an
I get
interest
it.
in creating that kind of content anymore. So I'm just trying to figure out where I want to go when it comes to creating content that'll actually help me grow on Twitch.
Yeah, and I think too, kind of what Dad said as well is making content for viewers, because I got pinned in Twitch talk, or whatever you want to call it on TikTok, where my content is only for streamers the majority of the time. Like I have a
Yep.
few really big videos that happened, but they were not for streamers. They were for viewers, right? So
Yeah.
I totally understand that shift between, okay, I've done all I can kind of do here. What's next? Where do I go? How do I then shift the content or shift whatever my vision is for what I'm doing? How do I then get that to the next level? So,
Yep.
with all that being said, Blue, I just want to take a moment here and just thank you immensely for coming on the podcast. It's been super awesome. Not only get to know you from the beginning of the journey, but then to have you on the podcast now, and just to be able to pick your brain a little bit. And before you get off here, bro, can you do a quick solid and just tell people where they can find you? What are your socials, your Twitch, all that kind of stuff? Just blast out whatever you got, man.
Sure. Thank you for having me, gentlemen. I
Yeah,
really treasure our friendship.
definitely.
Truly, you're a couple of the people I truly trust, because you haven't ever asked me for anything. So I truly feel like I can trust you guys. You can find me on twitch.tv/BlueThunder. TikTok is blue_thunder gaming. YouTube is just Blue Thunder Gaming, one word. And every other social, or I guess Twitter is TTV Blue Thunder.
nice. Okay, and then Dad, where can they find you, man? Per usual.
Yeah, twitch.tv/DadTheGamer. The E is the 3 at the end, and then everything else is just DadTheGamer. I do have 2 YouTube channels. The main one's DadTheGamer. If you guys enjoy Call of Duty content, that is the one to follow. If you guys are a streamer and you guys enjoy kind of like tutorials on Firebot, stuff like that, you can find me streaming with DadTheGamer is mine. What about you, Pastor?
Love it. Yeah, dude. So you can find me at twitch.tv/Pastorgainz. All of my socials are the exact same. I am Pastor Gainz for Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter, and then my second channel for Elden Ring content and gaming content in general is Pastorgainz Games. So, guys, we appreciate you guys listening wherever you are. If you are on YouTube, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you can know we're making more content. If you're anywhere else, we appreciate the heck out of you guys. And until next time, we'll talk soon.
Thanks, guys.